Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for this devotional. Today we are in 1 Timothy chapter 3. I'm going to read verse 6, second to the last qualification for leaders in the church. Here's how it reads. It says, he must not be a recent convert, or he may become puffed up with conceit and fall into the condemnation of the devil. So this qualification here moves us from domestic leadership into faith experience. And I believe what Paul is asking Timothy to do here is to actually assess the maturity of the leader's faith. Keep in mind, longevity alone is not a determination of faith maturity. The issue that Paul is attempting to address is a little bit more specific here. It's their time and experience with their manifestation of pride. Their manifestation of pride. Now, some spiritual leaders have been tested over time by their pride. They have been through enough cycles to know when and where and how pride is going to manifest itself in their life. And by the power of the Spirit, they have wised up to resisting it before it distorts their perspective and ruins their character. Now, the problem with pride, I think, is that it has a slightly different manifestation in each person. For one, the issues might be promoting self. For another, exalting self. For still another, justifying themselves. Another, degrading themselves. Another, comparing themselves. Or finally, condemning the self. And at some point, one of these versions is going to show up in a leader's life, or maybe many of them. And young converts have just not had enough time to be tested by these versions of pride, and they don't know them enough yet. Yet some of the most amazing spiritual leaders I have known have had a big time humbling moment, right? A confrontation with their pride. Just take Paul, actually. Jesus humbled him on the road to Damascus. Jesus confronted him about what? About his pride. And guess what? It was over a decade before he actually entered ministry. A decade. And why? Because he hadn't been through a long enough cycle with his pride. So if you are wondering how long a leader needs to be tested by his pride, I would say, well, maybe a decade at least, given the example of Paul. And so maybe you're disqualified by this just simply because of time. Well, no worries. In the meantime, whether you're young or old in your faith, just keep looking for how pride might be testing you. Just look at your day and see what pride might be doing to come at you. I love you guys. I hope this blesses you. If it has, share it with someone else. And with that, I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.